I'm back at my favorite location, 515 South Frio. Came over to record the magistrate area tonight real quick for further documentation and educational reasons. But as I was coming over here, noticed a person park over where they're supposed to park. I suppose they could have parked over here in the visitor parking, but either way, they parked over in that lot. I'm blocking the view of the actual car that parked because the person may be a victim of crime who's coming here to report it. Either way, the door was secured, but they let her inside. Again, just because a door is secured does not mean it's a restricted area, and that's one of the things that I attempted to explain to Lieutenant Zuniga 2 days ago, that just because the information services door is secure doesn't mean it's a secure area. Because again, if it was, why would they let me film in there? And again, it wasn't just one person who let me film inside there. I also spoke to an officer, actually an officer who helped me with directions. So here comes an officer. I'm going to ask him about this particular sign, if he'll let me. It's 79821T. How you doing, officer? I have a question for you about this sign here. So you can carry a firearm inside the police building, or is that sign saying that you can't? So are you allowed to carry a firearm into the police lobby?
Unless specific to the Texas state license or the Texas law. In here we have a lockbox. If you do have a firearm,
Right.
if you need to carry on your business or anything here,
Right.
you're able to lock up your firearm.
Okay, so that it is, you can bring it in, and you do have the secure lockers.
You have a secure facility that you can lock it up if you have to.
Excellent. That's. I just wanted to make sure. I've had officers tell me that you can't. I mean, as you see, I have an empty holster. I left my firearm in the car. I'm just out filming, but I just wanted to check to see how different officers interpret that sign, and you get a pass on that. I appreciate that. May I just document who I'm speaking with?
Officer Zimmermann.
I'm sorry? Zimmermann? Thank you, Officer Zimmermann. You have a good evening. So, Officer Zimmermann passed that with flying colors. He even explained that that's why those lock boxes are there. Unlike some officers who say, no, you can't bring the firearm in there. If you have a license, you can carry your firearm in there. Once you're in there, if you want to go into a secure area, you have to put it inside the secure lock box before you go into a secure area. So I'm going to pause now as I head toward. Good evening, sir. I have my vaccination, but I'll put on my mask anyway. How are you doing today? This is the night magistrate area, right? Okay, so is this where they release people who were arrested? Okay, so they may go to county and they may get out. If they don't get sent to county, is this where they would be released? Okay, I think I'm in the right place. Maybe you can answer a question for me. If you drive up here from Frio Street, and you turn into the lot where it says the night magistrate's this way, you get in, and then there's signs that say you can't park and that it's a criminal trespass to go this way. Yeah, so obviously you can't park back here, but why are there criminal trespass signs?
No, that's, I think they mean the police area.
Okay, so well, I was just concerned because I came from this way and I don't see any criminal trespass signs, and then I'm like, am I even in the right place? I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, you can park here. This here.
Okay, so in the future, if I have to come down here, and hopefully I never will, if I'm picking someone else up who made whatever unfortunate mistake and ended up down here, I can park in front of this building? Okay, well, that's good to know, but at the same time, it's discerning because those 30-05 signs, you know, they're like authorized personnel only. You know, they have the criminal code that they'll arrest you.
There's some on this other side. This other side of the no problem.
Okay, and you, I'm sorry, my vision's not good. You don't work for the city then? You're with Allied Universal. Okay, that's not a problem. I typically record encounters with public employees. I understand that you just work security here. I'm not going to record your face or anything. I just want to document who I'm speaking with. Joseph Mark? M-A-R? Okay, well, thank you, Joseph. So, what time is this office open?
24/7.
24/7. Okay, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Mhm. So, Mr. Marr is saying that you can drive back here and you can park back here, despite those signs over there saying that if you drive in this area, that you'll be arrested. Now, his interpretation of those signs means that don't go back here and make a left into the police area. So again, it's confusing and not everybody knows exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna go over here and see if I can talk to an officer and get him to explain what his interpretation of that is. And just a quick comment about the magistrate, the security guard in there, Officer Marr, stated that that is open to the public 24 hours a day. He stated that these signs are intended for people not to enter the police side. If that was actually the case, I would think this sign would be over there on the opposite side of that gate as well. So while it is still, again, more conflicting information, you know, he's like, no, you can come over here and park on this side at any time. And again, obviously, if that door and building is not restricted to the public, it wasn't even secure. I opened it without him having to wave me in, which, I mean, wouldn't surprise me if they secured it at night. I mean, this police lobby is secured at night, but again, it's still open to the public. So right now, I'm just waiting over here to catch an officer who I can engage and ask specifically to clarify what he thinks those signs mean, because again, every officer that I've talked to has told me a different explanation or story. It depends on what they want or don't want. And again, if the officer is initially telling me that those signs only meant through the gate, but then waving his arms and saying, no, they mean it goes all the way down there. Well, the way that he waved his arms and from there all the way down there was not clear as to how far he meant. But I mean, I tried to get him to elaborate. He said I could walk down to the side of the building and go down that way, but then again he put his hands up and said, no, you can't go that way. So right now I'm just trying to get other people's opinions on that. Again, this is really a non-issue, other than the fact that the city is going to address signage issues, and there's no sense in addressing some signs without addressing all signs. 142. I'm doing fine. Do you have a badge or ID?
Sorry?
What's your badge or ID number?
1151.
1151? I don't need any help. I'm just walking through. You're welcome. You have a good day. Heh. I'll look that up. Wonder what safe exchange zone means. It's a visitors parking only. Definitely isn't a visitor at this time of the night. Oh, officer of the month parking. That looks like a gate. I'm not going through it. Got this guy following me right now. Are you trying to flag me down, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, how can I help you?
Yes, sir. I just want to let you know, you just cannot cross the line. Do you understand that, or else you'll be arrested for trespassing, okay?
Which line?
The line up and in the gate. Do you understand that? Look at that right here. It says it right here. Look, you see this? You see this right here? You cross the line, you'll be okay?
Yeah. What about this one over here?
Same thing, man. It's still a fence line, okay?
Well, that's why I walked this way, because I didn't see a sign.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. If you go
So if I walk this way?
perfect. You can walk all the way you want over there. If you come this way, you know what I'm saying? That's the line right there.
Well,
okay?
what is the line? Give me an exact definition.
All right, the line is that thing between this one. That's right.
1138.
What's your name, my man?
1138 Sanchez. What's your name again?
Hey, so anyway, you can't pass the line, okay?
Okay, so you don't answer questions, you only ask them. Okay, so exactly,
I'm telling you, sir, you
if
can't
I walk
pass the
this
line,
way,
okay?
if I walk
Yeah,
this way
perfectly
over to the
fine.
other building,
That's fine with that.
and then I turn left, what's the line that you're saying is no
See
trespassing?
this line? All the way down.
Oh, well, hold on, sir. Hold on.
sir.
1428408. How you doing, officer? This lobby, this is a public lobby. I mean, it looks closed to me, but I have a question for you. Are you allowed to bring a firearm in here? Notice she completely ignores me. Her vehicle is 777520C. And this is the officer who was sitting down there for quite a while. She may have had something to do with the person who's inside right now, so I'm going to give her a short pass on ignoring me. If she's focusing on dealing with someone who's a victim of a crime, it's way more important than answering questions. She still should have stated that instead of just ignoring me and walking past. Good evening, officer.
How's your night going?
Oh, it's going good. Oh, you're a captain? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw your on your mic. It looked like 2 cross bars. I have a question for you. Maybe you can answer it for me. This lobby is typically open to the public. I know it's night now. I'm not trying to get in there right now, but so it's open to the public, so you can film in there and you can bring a firearm in there, correct?
No firearms.
Okay. Do you understand that sign doesn't mean you can't take a firearm inside there if you have a license to carry?
This is the city building, and they said unless specifically permitted under Texas state law. So if you have that, you're welcome to do what you need to do, but that we don't allow firearms, just ours inside.
Oh, okay. Real quick. Your office.
I've got to get inside, okay?
Not a problem. 1735. Another fail. Cool. You got a car that's designed not to look like a police car. It does say police on the side, though. How you doing, officer? So LGZ 0472. It's be really real careful. It does say San Antonio Police on it, but again, it is an unmarked car. I mean, you see any vehicle that has this big old bumper on it and push bar has, if you see over there, you have the spotlight on the side. It's obvious that it is a police officer, to someone who recognizes their unmarked units, but a lot of people wouldn't know that. Texas has a policy that non-emergency vehicles like this is, if they don't have their lights, they're not supposed to pull you over. But you know. How you doing? Do you mind if I ask you a question? I noticed your car's one of those stealth ones. Are you allowed to pull people over with this vehicle, or because you do have emergency bars on the inside, right? Is that okay? So that's why you can. Okay, no, that was just my question. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Okay, thank you. You too. So yeah, he does have emergency lights inside, so he can actually pull someone over. Again, you should be able to see the municipality on the side of the car, but they designed these that way. Thing that you should look for, again, that big old spotlight on the side of his vehicle shows it very clearly. These two gentlemen are all decked out in tactical gear. How you doing, guys? Wonder what unit they're working with. They're also in a unmarked unit, GWD 3026. I'll try not to engage too close to this window because it does look like they have a victim or suspect in there, so I'll avoid recording in that direction. I've moved to this side because there appears to be either a suspect or a victim inside that might accidentally get recorded if I stay on the other side. So while I'm not required to do that, I try very, very hard to be a responsible journalist and protect the rights of others. So again, that's why I just paused and moved back to this side. Ma'am, just to follow up real quick.
Sorry, I'm late to a call.
No, that's all right. So I can film in there, I just can't take a gun. Again, it's almost like pulling teeth, but she has no obligation to answer my questions, you know, so it is what it is. It's just a matter of interviewing techniques and getting what you can. I'm doing good. Are you guys with San Antonio Police?
I think so. We are.
You are? Okay,
Yes,
not.
we are. Hey, who are you? Just so we can follow you.
Oh, no problem. You can follow. Oh, you mean on YouTube?
Yeah, I want to follow you, man.
None of my stuff is published right now, but I'll give you my full name so that.
I want to help you out with some followers.
No problem. None of it's published right now because I have a pending court date that I don't want to put anything up.
Okay. Oh, you don't got time about that.
No. That's okay.
Yeah,
So.
I'm just hoping to help you out, man.
No, I appreciate you being cordial. I didn't know if you guys are off duty or undercover or anything. That's why I'm not, filming you.
Oh, man, I appreciate that.
I'm real respectful about things like that. Real quick, this sign right here, does that sign mean I can't bring a firearm inside the lobby?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but underneath it says, unless permitted under state law, if I have a concealed handgun license, isn't that allowing me to go inside?
Yeah, man. The sign clearly states no guns inside, man.
Okay.
And for their safety, man. There's been shootings.
No, I appreciate your answer. Can I just document your badge number?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I do appreciate it.
Yeah, good night, all right?
Yeah, not a problem. I'm going to turn the recording away so there's someone walking out here. So the officer doesn't want to be identified, and I respect that. He didn't want to tell me who he is. Again, they're wearing tactical uniforms and no name tags on them. So I avoided actually recording their faces for that. But when he said he didn't want to identify himself, that was kind of shady. Again, he is another one of the officers that says this sign means that you cannot bring a firearm inside the building. So the officer has finished speaking with the person who went inside. She's probably going to leave now. At this point, again, it does look like she ignored me to go inside and speak directly with that person. So I'm not going to hold that against her. It still would have been polite for her to say, hey, I'm busy, just like 1735 on her way out. Made an excuse not to answer questions. The silent treatment is perfectly fine because, again, they're under no obligation to answer me. However, keep in mind that if you give the silent treatment to the police, even though you're entitled to, you have no obligation to respond to them. You have no obligation to communicate with them unless you're under arrest. Then you have to identify with your name, your date of birth, and your address. That's all that you have to say. But if you're silent with the police, they will get upset and they will escalate things. How you doing, officer?
Sir?
Hi. Oh, I'm doing fine. We got a corporal supervisor vehicle there. He's wearing a safety vest, so I'm not sure what he was out doing, but very cordial and polite as he walked by. Again, that's what you expect from public servants. And again, when people go out and film the police, a lot of times they delete stuff that the public really should see. Good, important officers that are out there doing the right thing. And these guys do risk their lives. I know I'll get a lot of hate comments about that because policing is not the most dangerous job in America. However, until you've served in the military or been a police officer, you don't really have a right to sit there and tell people that, oh, that's not too dangerous, because more, taxi cab drivers have died than soldiers or police officers. Again, I always commend good behavior, and at the same time, I am critical of behavior that is not good. And I wish all the people out there who did audits of the police were like that. No, it doesn't get followers or subscribers, but that's not what I'm out for. I'm out here to document and educate. From where I'm standing, I'm hearing radio traffic. It appears to be coming from behind this gate, so I'm going to walk down here a little bit. I'm not sure if the officer was talking to me, and I want to make sure that I'm not avoiding them. It doesn't look like they were addressing me. I think it was just radio traffic from that vehicle there. I discussed earlier with Lieutenant Zuniga that this gate does not have the proper signage to go through it. However, there is a sign, and it's not within 25 feet, which is required by laws for parking and other things, but I know that they have stated that's a restricted area. I'm not going to take a chance on even walking close to that restricted area. I can walk right up to the gate, and technically there's nothing that they could say or do about it, but I'm not going to push my luck there tonight. How you doing?
You alright?
Oh yeah, I had a question for you if you don't mind.
Unless it's an emergency?
No, it's absolutely not an emergency. Just a question that I can ask someone who's not in a hurry. You have a safe night. So again, a cordial, polite officer. He doesn't have time for questions, and you know what? I appreciate that he's going to go do something that he needs to be doing instead of taking time out and sitting here talking with me. Again, can't make them speak with you. And if they choose to, they choose to. If they don't want to answer questions, that's fine. But they should still be polite and courteous like this individual here was. Again, he's in a supervisor vehicle. He had 2 stripes on. I could not see his badge because he had on a reflective vest. But again, people get upset and, think officers have to identify themselves anytime they speak to the public. San Antonio policy is that officers do identify themselves by name and when they contact the public, but he's not contacting me. I mean, he technically did. He said, "Did I need any help?" And that was courteous. But so, anytime an officer approaches me, I always say, "Can I get your name and badge number?" And if I haven't started recording, then after I turn on my recorder, then I state just briefly, this is so-and-so and so-and-so. I have not had any incidents where I feel like I need to keep the camera on the officer at all times, and I find my techniques for speaking with officers work better if the camera's not focused on them. You'll notice the way officers stand, they know where their body cameras point. They're always making sure that you're on film. But again, officers, unfortunately, when they realize that they are being filmed, often get nervous or hesitant, so they're less likely to give an honest answer or to give the answer that comes off the top of their head. They're going to be hesitant and think about their answer first. They may at that point go, "Oh, I have to get inside. Oh, I have to go." So again, if I'm asking officers questions, I don't find it in my best interest to point the camera directly at them, and that's why I do that. So this car and this vehicle over here just pulled into the area. They passed the two no trespassing signs without even hesitating. Again, those signs are difficult to read at night, and as Sergeant Link stated, lots and lots of words on it. So when it comes to restricted areas, they need to have clear and positive signs about that instead of signs that they have up there. And again, Officer Marr in here has stated that those signs don't apply to this parking lot, that you can park over here at any time. That's not what the police say. And again, that's one of those things that, it depends on the officer's mood at the time. He may arrest you, he may warn you, but when things are not clear to the public, it shouldn't be up to officer discretion. There should be clear and obvious warning signs that you're not allowed to be in a certain area. Now, the person over here is in the back of his vehicle. If he chooses to, I'll engage him. But again, he has no obligation to talk to me. And since I don't know he's a public servant, when I initially talk to him, my camera won't be pointed at him, but I will be recording the conversation. So here you get an officer who's over there. So you have reserved. And that person's parked over there. This vehicle's backed into a handicapped spot, but I don't know if he has a placard, and it's not really my concern. How's it going? Just delivering some food? Just delivering some food? Okay, you have a safe night. How you doing? Just starting your shift? Okay, you have a good evening. So, again, the person who parked over here was a Allied Barton security officer. While he's actually working in a public facility, technically that's the same as, a public employee. He works for a private company, but he's working for the city. So, and cases like that, they have no expectation of privacy when they're working in an official capacity for the city. I try not to bother security guards. They're underpaid. They just doing what needs to be done at a reduced cost to the city. It saves the city money. So, yeah. Here comes an officer. How you doing, officer? Doing good, doing good. So, well, that answers my question. The one car came down here to deliver food. He may or may not have saw the sign. Either way, as Officer Marr stated, anyone can come down here and park if they have business down here. But again, those signs, man, they're asking for trouble that way. If the intent of the sign is one thing and officer interpretation is another, you have problems. So a young lady came out. I say young, probably in her 30s or 40s. I didn't know who she was, but she's a city employee. She was cordial and polite. Again, my policy, I don't record people that are not government employees for a reason. And since I didn't know, I just kept the camera off of her. But it is a compliment to her because she was cordial and polite as she passed me by. So again, letting people know there are polite employees out there. I walked over to the car to see if she wanted to identify herself, but she kept her window up, and approaching people at night make them feel uncomfortable, so I kept my distance. If she wanted to identify herself, I would have put in a compliment for her. Either way, again, you know, one of the things, again, is when you come across good behavior or what's even normal behavior, it's important to document that as well. So I'll come back over here. It's like when you go fishing, you know, you never know what you're going to get. You may pull up an old boot from the bottom of the lake, or you may get, you know, something good to eat if you eat fish. Good evening. Good evening. I'm doing good. Got a question for you. This is a public lobby, right? Normally?
No, sir. During business hours.
During business hour, right. I'm not saying now. So during business hours, you can bring a firearm in here and you can record in here, correct?
Unless there's something on the door, which I don't think there is.
Okay, that's correct. I mean, the reason I asked is because this sign here, if you have a concealed handgun license, this sign doesn't apply to you.
Oh, yes, it does.
So you're saying...
Oh, unless specifically permitted.
Yeah, because...
There you go.
No. So,
Yeah.
so if I have my concealed handgun license, I can't. Okay, I just want to make sure. I get... Yeah, no. I've had different people tell me different things, so I'm like, just making sure. Okay, thank you, Sergeant. Sergeant gets a pass.